Alright, hello everybody and welcome back to episode 2 of attempt 12 of Schedule 1 Permadeath Perma Arrest. 15 new mods have been used in this playthrough and so far we love every single one of them. We increased the prices of various properties and the skateboard and the vehicles. We altered the parameters of laundering businesses. Everything's going quite well. We have a massive setup where we're growing a lot of weed, but today I think I'd like to try and optimize / refine our setup. I did some mathematic calculations. I don't know if they're gonna work, but apparently the ideal ratio is actually having 1 plant pot for every 3 drying racks. Apparently. Oh, wow. Hello there. I can't attack these guys in front of the police. Otherwise we'll be wanted, so let's lead them over here. Okay. Goddamn. Yo, he has a gold bar? Shit. Alright. We'll have to come back and loot the other guy later. Starting out fast and heavy today. Like an obese sprinter. I love how the cops ignore the guy graffitiing. Oh man, okay. Oh my god. Alright, we gotta get away from these guys. If I go into my sewer base, we might be alright. We'll see. Yep. Okay, we're covered. We have a lot of product on hand, and our dealers are well stocked. We don't need to worry about them. I'm gonna want to collect their cash soon, though. We got a gold fucking bar from that guy. Isn't that like 10 grand in cash? I don't know where that cartelli went that we hit with the bat who was spray painting earlier, but we stopped him from doing the spray painting itself.
Okay.
Son of a bitch, you guys are everywhere, dude. I can't do anything. You really do have to take an opportunity to look around before you commit to any actions. Anyway, let's just hop in here. Stay hidden for the time being. All right. Michael Boog, 15 grams, 1,500 bucks. All right, let's try this again. Jesus, police everywhere at all times. All right. All right, time to get chat open. I'll go grab our graffiti cleaner and clean that off too. Welcome, Nameless King. Welcome, Jesper. Mbad, good to see you guys. Good day to you all. How be ye? How be ye on thine day of today? All right. Man, we can pedal mad volume. Now, there is a consideration. Earlier in the game, I was only able to make enough deals because they were generating enough standard weed, right? Once we had the heavenly stuff, it was fine from that point forward, but the exact ratio, the beneficial ratio, it seems to be 3 drying racks for every 1 plant. There's a reason why I think that, right? Because it takes 12 hours for the drying rack to dry a bud. Look at that money. Oh, that's beautiful, dude. We literally just got like $1,500 in laundered money. Well, not laundered, no, that's genuine business profits from our properties. That's awesome. Yeah, that's sick. There you go, bud. But yeah, so it takes 12 hours for you to dry a bud, right? And it has to dry twice, once to premium, once to heavenly. So that's 24 hours that it takes to dry if you don't have any like air conditioning units or anything. So if it takes 24 hours to dry, how many plants can you grow and harvest in that time? Well, a plant takes, with my current setup with the LED grow lights and the moisture preserving pod, it takes 5.3 hours, which is simply like, you know, 5 hours and 20 minutes, right? That means that for every drying step, for every 12-hour period, I can harvest a plant twice, right? So in order, like, to fully dry weed from standard to heavenly, that's going to take 24 hours, which means I'm going to be able to harvest a plant 4 times in that window, which produces 48 weed. That's enough for 3 racks, right? So I need 3 racks per plant. So each botanist could be assigned to 6 drying racks and 2 plants, and theoretically that could work for all of them. There is one caveat though, one caveat to my formulas, and that caveat is this. We have encountered problems before where a botanist will start drying weed, but then he'll put more weed in the input slot of that first drying rack where there's already stuff drying, rather than filling the unoccupied drying rack, right? So we would need to find a way around that issue. However, it does appear that right now we could modify this setup. We could. Now that we're all out of soil and stuff here, I think I will try to. We're gonna try and reduce the amount of stuff we have in here. We're gonna need more drying racks, a majority drying racks, basically, and I think we're gonna fire one of these botanists. We're gonna do 2 botanists and a cleaner, so I don't have to clean up here anymore. Yeah. I have no room in my inventory to grab more stuff. Let's put our grow operation stuff in here. The gold bar we can pawn later. Anyway, curfew is just about to happen, which does mean that going from place to place is about to get a lot harder. There's curfew right there. Let's grab all of these. Laying out only what's necessary later. It's nice to actually be able to walk through here, but I'd imagine it won't last very long. Yeah, we have to clean up the trash, and then we have to move around the drying racks and optimize the space. We're gonna have to fire one of these botanists. I think it's gotta be you, Bullcut. I'm sorry, buddy, but you're just not doing it for me. Yeah, your services are no longer required. Get out of here. Okay, I gotta get to the motel, hopefully without being seen by the cops. Deposit. We do have some deals to do. Let's get into the sewer. I wonder if you can sleep while you're under the effect of energetic. I know that you can't sleep while you have athletic, but maybe energetic would allow you to sleep. Maybe I can make a better mix for like anti-gravity and stuff, right? One that would allow me to sleep. Anyway, let's grab the jars. Oh shit. All of our deals are scattered around because I forgot to do the F5 thing. Okay, we'll start scheduling deals for under the West Bridge. And for tonight, I'm gonna have to toke this shit. So, oh my god. Yeah, there's cops everywhere. Let's try to find a different place to go up. Anyway, I passed like 4 mushrooms and I don't really want to pass them up. 5 mushrooms, we're gonna grab them all. Yeah, oh my god, there's so many mushrooms. Fucking 6 of them. We're still getting calls. Let's keep scheduling. Schedule 1. What? Hey, I didn't know you could find mushrooms in here in this little warehouse area. That's pretty cool. All right. God, we just found 8 mushrooms. Anyway, let's go topside. That's Genghis. There you go, buddy. Next deal site is Michael Boog next to the courthouse. Leo Rivers. Okay, new dealer unlocked. Very nice. Behind the laundromat. All right. Waiting for Benji Coleman. Okay. Fuck is that handler's job? That's weird. We have a handler's job right there. I wonder if we can get rid of that. Okay, let's get out of here for now. North waterfront? Over there. Yeah, we're gonna change up our setup right away. I'm gonna need more drying racks. We can sleep right after we turn in this sale, provided we don't attract any cops before then. All right. Lily Turner, 10 Sweet Tooth. Let's do 15 and meet her tonight. Under the West Bridge. Honestly, I might just deactivate this guy for now. I don't know, we'll let him work for the day. Let's go buy the drying racks that we're gonna need. I'll set up the plants first, and we have to hire a cleaner. Yeah, we gotta move all this shit around. We currently have drying operations in progress. I'm sitting on a lot of bricks. Okay, they stole $1,300 from Wei Long, which is fine. 20 Sweet Tooth. All right. So now we need to have 12 drying racks in here. And I'm gonna try to fit them clean, but I don't know if I can. They're pretty large objects, right? But we will try. Can I, like, cancel this? Yeah. Okay, good. We'll deposit it all in here for now. Then we can freely move these and get it going. Oh, shit. Hang on. I'm gonna have to collect these drying racks. Let's give myself more inventory. Grab it. Yeah, we gotta get him to stop working. All right, there we go. Now I gotta do a trash cleanup in the area. Let's go grab our trash grabber from the sewer. And I have to buy 3 more drying racks. All right. We'll go sign on that new dealer soon. Okay, the area's clean. Now let's go buy more drying racks. I need 3 more. And I have to hire a cleaner. Because there is no way that I'm going to be able to fit 18 drying racks and 6 plants in that space. So the cleaner's the next best thing, right? Done. Okay. There we go. So we need to set all these up. I don't know how we're gonna fit it, but let's just try out a couple things here. Technically, I could do that. Even I can get through here. We need space for the trash bin, but we can put it right in there. I can't move these back any further, though. What I could do is open this up, put that right there, and then maybe this one right here. I can't walk through there, though. It doesn't have, like, this... Oh, I could put it right there. So we have good walking paths that they can use. We don't need to worry about that. Yeah, this could work. Okay. I think I prefer it the other way. Yeah, we'll leave this here. We still need the trash can to be placed somewhere. Maybe I'll leave a little, I don't know, little gap right there. I can obstruct the center just fine. As long as they have a half block gap, I'm pretty sure they are able to traverse that. Yeah, put that there. Can they use this? I think they probably could, and then I could maybe squeeze a trash bin right there for the cleaner. Maybe. Let's schedule this deal. I may as well just sell her a full brick. Alright, so we have everything there. Now we just need to go grab a trash can. And I might want to go, like, re-up the dealers. Make sure we have the longest stretch of time possible. Because we don't know how long it's going to take to, like, fill this out, you know? And we still have to figure out if we can fix the throughput issue also. Because they have a habit of putting... They fill up the input slots of a drying rack, and then they start drying it, but then they fill up the input slot again, instead of going to the next inactive drying rack, and that can sometimes be a problem. We have to try to figure out if we can do anything about that. Anyway, let's bring this trash can over there. All right. So that'll do. That's complete coverage of the trash pickup. Manage cleaner. Hang on. There we go. Apparently he found trash already. So, she's going to be assigned to these 6 drying racks and those 2 plants. And then he similarly will, but hang on, let's make sure we have all the correct settings on all of the drying racks. So, heavenly quality, threshold of 1, and we're gonna need to change the destination to the bungalow, which we can do pretty easily. Cycle through the locations till we get there, and then, I think it goes right here. Yeah, that's where the heavenly bud goes. So that's being outputted properly. Oh, don't put the fucking mushrooms on the drying rack. Okay. Now we have to assign this guy. There we go. 6 drying racks and 2 plants. And let's re-up their soil and shit. We got a lot more debit money from all of our businesses. Let's deposit those mushrooms for now. And then go visit all of the dealers, giving them renewed quantities of product and taking their cash. I'll try to make sure that every dealer has 6 stacks of bricks. We're gonna need more chilies here. Gas Mart, chilies, 320. To the bungalow, done. Okay. That's what you get out of my town. Molly, hang on. Grab the cash, 12 grand. She now has 6 bricks. Now we have to go visit Brad, Wei Long, Jane Lucero, and finally, we have to hire that new dealer as well, Leo Rivers. Okay. That's Irene. Yeah, Irene and Jane kind of look a little similar. Damn, she was just about out of weed. She sells it the fastest. Maybe I'll give her some extra product then. Everybody else still had some product, but she was very low. Yeah, we're gonna give her some more. I'll give her 3 extra bricks. 50% more weed. All right. So, if I give Leo Rivers, let's say, 7 bricks, I could give 3 more to everyone else. 8. Yeah, we gotta make sure everybody's well stocked. And I gotta stay out of trouble. Try to remain undetected. Pay the signing fee. Give him 8 bricks. And then we can give 2 more bricks to Brad, Benji, and Molly. And I'll still have 1 more for my own use. Here's Benji. Watch out, Benji. There's police abroad. I have to sell her an entire fucking brick. And then we'll give these 2 to Molly. Molly's currently gone, so let's just take cover for a minute. She's over here. Alright, everybody's well stocked. Let's assign customers to Leo. Lily, Ray, Fiona, Pearl, Irene, Walter, Herbert, Boog, Jen, Tobias. Okay, he's fully assigned completely. Alright. Oh yeah, I didn't give a gun to Leo. I'm not too worried about him getting robbed yet, but if he does get robbed, it'll be far worse if he's not armed. Okay. I have to grab that jarred up weed right there. We also need to bring them more soil and seeds. Okay, they have 3 days of wages. I gotta get into the sewer. And I have to bring Leo this gun. I guess I'll go in the sewer later, actually. We have a clear route to Leo right now. If the police aren't around, take advantage, right? Anyway, he's right here. Okay, he's armed and ready. Every dealer has 8 bricks, with the exception of Jane, who sells it a lot faster. She's got 9. Let's head down. Make sure I have enough jars for tonight. Irene wants an entire fucking brick. I don't... Oh, God. Do I even have enough product for all this? 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9... I may not sell to everybody tonight. It depends on, well, the thing is, I ordered a delivery to the bungalow and it has arrived, so there might be more. I just don't know. But we're gonna head all the way over there and check it out. If I could get more bricks, then we'd have a shot. It looks like they're producing. 15 minutes left and I'll be able to get some bricks. This should be enough for my deals tonight. Provided I get some more jars. All right, there we go. Okay, he's delivering to the other ones now. Let's get another delivery if we can afford it. From Gas Mart Central. Insufficient balance. I can get some, but not much. Alright, 100 more chilies coming to the bungalow. We definitely have enough weed for our deals now. I'm gonna go to the warehouse and buy some jars. Holy shit. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, I'll see you soon. All right, here we are. Let's get 20 jars. And I'm also gonna have to restock the soil. Yeah, we need 20 soil over at our grow operation there. So let's take only what's necessary right now. I need the jars. All right, we'll leave that product behind for now. I'll make the delivery of the soil. I don't like traipsing around at night, but what are we gonna do, right? I got no choice right now. Might be able to elude detection. Oh my god. There's 3 intersecting batches of cops over there. That's crazy. Look at that. Oh my god. Really? Are you serious? Of course. All right. I mean, we should be able to get away just fine, but... Alright, let's trash grab all this shit. He doesn't need more soil or seeds. He's fine. But I might actually... You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna reallocate a couple of these plants elsewhere. Those are going to... We have to go to the bungalow. Right here. And we're gonna allocate those plants right here. And we'll have the drying rack botanist at the bungalow dry those. I mean, now that I know, right? This one plant is enough to fuel all 3 of these drying racks, so... Okay. So, from this point, we have to get into the storage unit. Let's take the back door. Death World Peninsula run? Oh, are you talking about Factorio? Right on. Okay, so they have more soil now. Let's go package up some product for the deals we have remaining. Okay, let's go under the West Bridge. It's a fairly short trip from here. We gotta go up here. And then turn left, turn right, and here's the West Bridge. All right, there we go. We're sitting on $89,000, but the laundering happens slowly. We have 10 hours before the laundromat is finished. The rest are gonna take more than a day. Let's get to sleep. Made 32 grand today. All right, so now we have a new dealer in the works. Everybody's well stocked on weed. They have a whole bunch of it. Fully assigned on customers. I have a little bit of leftover product, but we're not going to worry about that. I need to restock the seeds. I don't need this trash grabber right now either. Let's deposit it. So, let's arrange a meetup with Albert Hoover. Under the West Bridge. Hell, I know how to get there. Let's leave this weed behind so I have enough for 6 stacks of seeds. Enough inventory space. That was clean. Okay. 60 green crack. Let's deliver that to the storage unit. We have to get them growing. I know that my storage unit setup looks weird, but trust me, the math on this should be sound. You want 3 drying racks for every plant, right? So if we have 4 plants, then we're gonna want 12 drying racks. Yeah, this should be just fine. Yeah, they're going. It seems weird, but the math does check out. All right. It's really gonna depend on their throughput. I'm worried that they might, like, she might hang this stuff up to dry and then fill up the input slot on top of that before she assigns other weed to the other drying racks. I am worried about that, and it would definitely fuck up our program if it happened. We'll have to wait and see. But we're gonna start making Scooby snacks real soon here. Real soon. We just have to buy the barn. Right now we have 3 laundering operations and I can deposit 10 grand in like 3 days. Yeah, we'll let this guy keep on doing his thing. I'll click dry on these. We're gonna have to deliver all that regular weed over to the bungalow to be dried by the other chick. Now that she has less pots assigned to her, she might actually be able to get all this dried without a backlog forming. Okay. We're doing a good job making more bricks. Very nice. Grab the bat. We're gonna let him use up the remainder of the seeds and soil that he's got. And that one plant should theoretically be enough to fuel all of these drying racks. Oh, that's the idea. We're gonna keep a close eye on things over here to see if our throughput is proper. I don't like how they're standing in the same place, but it is what it is, I guess. Yeah, these are all empty, but as these plants continue growing, it's not gonna happen all at once, right? Basically, you have the 3 drying racks, right? The first harvest of both plants fully fills a drying rack and a bit of the next one. And then the second harvest of both plants is gonna fill up the second drying rack and a bit of the third one, and so on, and it's gonna stagger them in that way. And we're gonna get, in the time it takes for one drying rack to completely dry up to heavenly, which is 24 hours, we're gonna end up getting 4 harvests on each plant, right? So that ends up being 96 weed. Yeah. It should theoretically work to have 2 plants for 3 drying racks. It has a ramp up time. It has to ramp up. So we just have to leave it for a little while until it's had sufficient time to ramp up. Let's make sure everybody's got good wages here. At least 5 days worth. Anyway, I might want to start buying my mushroom stuff in preparation. We need a lot of it. Spawn station. 32 mushroom beds, I think. And then we'll need 16, I believe, drying racks. That might be too many. $12. Yeah. And then a brick press. We might not need a mixing station, because I might actually just do an 8-step mix of mushrooms. We'll see. I'll buy a couple, just so we have them. Also get another brick press. Alright, laundromat is done. Let's do the maximum again. All right. We're gonna have to start leveling up the mushroom guy. I haven't really done that yet. And let's go put a bunch of cash into his collection box. You seem to start out on the low end of neutral with him. Anyway, we're gonna need to bag up more Sweet Tooth in order to get customers more addicted, so let's buy 40 baggies. $509? It's Friday, huh? We'll just wait to pawn that gold bar until next Thursday. Let's take this weed and those mushrooms. I may as well bring these to a dealer later. Okay, let's go. Hang on, let me go check on this. The plants might have been through a couple of... Oh. Right, I didn't do an output destination. Okay, all of these plants have to get outputted to here. All right. We made a whole bunch of money from our legal businesses. So, let's do the baggies first. Pack 8. Oh, we're all right. Okay. Drop is ready. Let's order another. These spore syringes are the fastest way to get that rep increase. Although it's still slow as fuck. It takes so long, right? I kind of wish you could give free drugs to a supplier. Like, you could arrange a meetup with them and then give them free drugs to, like, kind of win them over, right? This way works, but I feel like it's most noticeable with fungal fill. There's a really long startup time before you can actually like meet up with them and buy what you need, right? You're always nickel and diming your mushroom setup at first, and it makes it makes it annoying to do mushrooms. All right, let's package these. What's up, Snat? Not too much, buddy. Yeah, we're doing pretty good today. Pretty damn good, I must say. We're trying a new ratio with our weed growing setup, in fact. One plant pot for every, like, one plant for every 3 drying racks. Apparently, I did some math last night, and I think that might be the magic number. It seems backwards. Usually people would want more plants than drying racks, but because it takes 24 hours in order to fully dry a plant, like in order to fully dry weed up to heavenly quality, right? You can get 4 harvests out of a plant in that 24-hour span. So the math I did, it worked out to like you need 3 drying racks in order to process all the weed from 3 plants. It's gonna take a while to ramp up, but it should be fine and have minimal overages. Anyway, let's go to under the West Bridge right now. That's not where I want to go. Okay, not in my town. Oh shit. I kind of wish that there were timestamps on the texts. You know why? Is because, well, I'm thinking at this stage of the game, I'd like to do all my deals during the day, rather than meeting up with customers at night, but some customers only call you late at night, right? I mean, I guess you could just look at the list, like the order of the texts, to find out who called you latest. So I'm thinking we're gonna allocate Jesse and Dean to dealers. I don't know when Geraldine contacts you necessarily. Austin, however, calls you early on, so I'll take Austin. We'll assign Jesse to Benji Coleman, and then Molly is Westville. We're going to take the business of Kathy and assign Dean to her. Yeah, I want deals that I can do during the day. Drop is ready. Order another. All right, let's get some rest. Yeah, the heaters do work, but it comes down to space. I'm trying to keep my operation pretty much confined to the sweatshop and the bungalow, right? Well, no, I'm trying to keep my operation confined to the sweatshop and the storage unit. And the bungalow, I want to keep it more or less open so that I can use it later for 8-step mixing cocaine, right? Yeah, that's the problem with it. So I'm trying to keep my setup as minimalistic as possible. Let's take the trash grabber. I have more drugs that we can peddle today. Try to get customers more addicted. Let's order another dead drop. 10 more spore syringes. All right, so, addictiveness. Everybody in Northtown is just fine. Everybody in the lower regions is probably completely addicted all the time. Yeah. We'll still do our due diligence and run the list. Jennifer Rivera is extremely difficult to keep addicted, man. We need to get her more addicted. We have to devotedly visit her multiple times a day. It's possible that she has an affinity for meth. Like, maybe she prefers meth. In fact, let's check on that. I think that's a worthy investigation. Customer Schedule 1. So, Jennifer Riviera. So this affinity in the middle is her favorite drug. Meth, right? She has negative affinities for almost everything. She likes meth, and she likes what appears to be coke. So that's it. Yeah, she likes meth and coke. And that's why we're not getting any calls for her, is because we have to get her addictiveness up to enough of a point where she'll settle for the drugs that she doesn't. Shit, I have to break that habit now. Yeah. I pretty much, I have to stop scheduling deals for late at night. It's a really bad habit. I gotta stop it, right? Anyway, let's keep running through the list. So, Cranky Frank and Genghis. Easy enough, let's go pay them a visit. Why not keep the coke for the barn? Well, I like to use the barn for the mushroom setup. I can make a massive mushroom setup at the barn. It's weird. I feel like I shouldn't even do mushrooms, but because I look like Shaggy, I feel like it's thematically appropriate, right? Okay. Well, we got Genghis. Let's redo our laundering at the post office. One thing I feel like this game really needs, honestly, is being able to get more than one delivery per gas station. Because if you have 5 properties but only 2 gas stations, then you can't go ham show and produce all the drugs that you want, right? Oh, the car wash is done too. Okay, there we go. We have 31 grand on our debit. It's not enough to buy the barn. I need 50,000 for that. Let's schedule this deal for the afternoon. I have to try to break that habit, the late night habit. Now I need to go find Cranky Frank. Yeah, I can't use the heaters mainly because it's about the space that I have available. The storage unit is full, very full, so. I did, however, think about the possibility of having the weed get shipped to the sweatshop and then having a dedicated drying area there, like with the heaters. I thought about that. Like, it is a possibility. All right, we have to continue visiting Genghis and Cranky Frank. I also have to continue visiting Jennifer Riviera. Chris. Allison, Carl, Harold. Those guys hate my drugs. Yeah, simple truth is, if you want to get everybody's business, you have to produce a shitload of drugs. However, that also creates a problem because your dealers only have 5 inventory slots. So you need to give them a weapon, and then if you produce every single drug type, let's say you want to restock your dealers, but they have like some jars of meth, bags of meth, jars of weed, bags of weed. It's like you have to take all that stuff out of their inventory in order to give them bricks again, right? So I might actually download a mod that increases the inventory size of dealers so that you can see their full inventory and just give them the bricks without having to take a bunch of shit from them first, right? I suppose we'll just start knocking on doors. What's the priest doing here? Yeah, buy some weed, buddy. We gotta visit Chris Sullivan. Don't really know where he is right now, but drop is ready, order another. Another couple orders of those syringes and we might have a good enough relationship with them to last and get those deliveries going. See here, so a lot of these customers, we got a lot of work to do on them. Let's try to go visit Carl. And well, that's the thing, right? There's a benefit to having like every type of drug. It's smart to make meth and mushrooms and weed and coke. The problem is supplying your dealers with them because of their limited inventory size, right? So I feel like we need the dealers to have more inventory size in vanilla. And then you can make a whole bunch of different drugs, keep your dealers well stocked, because different customers have different affinities. So it's smart if you wanna have like automatic business with every customer, you just have to make sure you have every drug. And then over time, every customer gets 100% addicted without you having to do anything other than just automate the setup and continue producing the drugs, right? That's the thing. It really comes down, it's just a few systems that kind of lack cohesion. But for my next playthrough, which I'm hoping is soon because I'm honestly really excited about it, I'm gonna do every drug again. I'm gonna try to do every single drug. And I'm going to download a mod that increases dealer inventory. Let's see if there even is one. Schedule 1 dealer inventory mod. Increased dealer inventory. There is a mod for it. Increases dealer inventory. Additional dealer slots 3. So I could actually change this config if I wanted to add more slots. Does it work? Not working. Well, we could try that mod out. We could try it out. I do feel like we need more dealer inventory, more visible dealer inventory, in order for making every drug to be viable. Just so that if I have bricks of coke, mushrooms, weed, and meth, I can give those bricks to the dealers without having to take their jars and baggies away from them in order to make space, right? That shit's annoying. Nobody likes doing that. Anyway. So, they're buying and getting themselves more addicted all the time. I don't really need to visit these guys necessarily. I think I'll visit Herbert Blueball just to get him a little bit more addicted. We should probably visit the priest on a regular basis too, because he doesn't start out willing to buy your drugs. You kind of have to get him up to that point. So let's go visit Herbert Blueball, huh? They do have a hidden inventory, but you can't access it. So like if like that won't work, oh snap. If they have bricks and baggies in their non-hidden inventory, then I have to remove those in order to give them the bricks. And since I'm already carrying multiple types of bricks, I don't have the inventory to remove them, right? Yeah. I mean, you can give all the bricks and a gun, but then what happens if they run out of bricks of one type of drug, right? Then it just, I end up in the same position where now I have to take something out of their inventory in order to give them the brick again. Alright, he's a little bit more addicted. Let's check Suburbia. Hank Stevenson. Hank's Hardware. He recently completed a deal. Jeremy is self-sustaining his own addiction. Chris, Alyssa, they don't really seem to do it. A lot of these customers probably just have methamphetamine affinities. All right, let's schedule this deal. I keep doing under the for late at night. Yeah, we gotta just break that habit. I wanna be meeting up with everybody before curfew, if we can. Let's go to the casino and visit Jennifer. Holy shit. All right, let's go check on things over here, make sure everything's still working. It is, but look, it's the same problem again, right? They're putting weed on the rack to dry it, and then they're putting it in the input slot, right? That's the issue. This setup would work perfectly if that wasn't the case. And why aren't you starting to dry on this? Like, what's up with that? He's assigned to it. The threshold is 1. That's weird, dude. Why aren't you doing it? There's nothing for you to do. Oh, she's just bugging out. Okay. It's weird. Yeah, the ratios would be much better and the automation would be greatly improved if they didn't start drying it and then also put weed in the input slot. Wait, well, no, because you can't change this and add a filter to it. That won't work either. Yeah. It's weird, right? Like, we literally just started drying on so many more because we had to manually move it. It's a shitty system. It really de-incentivizes the use of drying racks altogether. It's a broken system, you know? Otherwise, this would work really well. Hello, gamer fam. Hello, how are you doing? Yeah, the problem is you're supposed to do like mathematic calculations for efficiency in this game and stuff, but you can't because it's broken, right? Like, theoretically, with perfect mathematics, you should have one plant for every 3 drying racks. Because then by the time your weed reaches heavenly quality, you'll have enough weed to fill up those 3 drying racks again. Because you'll harvest the plant. You harvest a plant 4 times in the time it takes for the 24 hours to pass for weed to go to standard, like from standard to heavenly, right? But you can't do that because instead of dividing the weed evenly between all of the drying racks, instead what your botanists do is they start drying on a rack and then they fill up the input of that rack instead of moving the weed to the other one. It's really weird, dude. Like, it's strange. It seems like it would be really easy to code that out and fix it too. It's annoying. In a way, they kind of, they sort of pigeonhole you into needing fertilizer, right? And the crazy part is, when I looked that up online, I found one Reddit post of one guy complaining about it, and it seems like the entire Schedule 1 community is entirely oblivious to it. It's weird, dude. It's weird. It's like nobody's aware of that throughput issue, you know? All right, where's Cranky Frank at? Ugh. Well, it's too late for me to stay out now. Let's get out of here. I have a couple deals that I'm just not gonna do for Under the West Bridge. Yeah, I want to break the habit of scheduling deals for late night. Right on, gamer fam. We have to pay back our debt before I can order again. Let's deposit these. What am I doing again? Right. Drops, payback, fungal guy. Can we meet up with them? Yes, we can. Okay, there we go. I mean, I should probably still leave some cash in here for dead drops. Because we're gonna want to get deliveries from him, just not deliveries for the syringes, because they're too expensive. Pawn shop, casino, and skate park. Casino first. These are done. They have the intended output destinations. So let's watch and see here, see what they do. Maybe I need to do like a threshold of 20, but I don't know. Okay, so she's gonna start, they're drying that stuff. What if I change the threshold to 20? Will that fix the throughput issue? I really have no idea. But then they won't start drying it unless it reaches 20, and that creates another throughput issue. You know, simple truth, it's not my responsibility to fix it, but it is a big problem. The drying racks need TLC. Okay, we'll meet up with Austin in the afternoon. And they're not shipping that weed, probably because there's... Right, we're not even mixing. Here, let's order some stuff over to the gas mart. At the bungalow, or yeah. I'll get 320 chilies times 2 sent to the bungalow. Maybe I'll do like meth and mushrooms in the next playthrough. I'm gonna take a look at the character list and I'm gonna see what everybody's affinities are. The problem, well, you know, we'll do a little bit of weed in the beginning. Maybe I could at least do like a single botanist in the sweatshop. He can produce enough weed for all the customers who like it. And then we could do meth in the storage unit. Because you don't need drying racks, right? So it ends up being a cohesive experience where you don't have, like, production destroying bugs. It sucks, but when you try to use drying racks, like, it's the smart man's move. But the game is, like, they don't work properly, and that's the issue, right? The bottleneck is not the act, like, using the drying racks, but the way that they're kind of broken in their current design. All right. We'll meet up with both of those guys under the West Bridge and do their deals early. Hell, I can deal to him right now. All right. So, you know what? Let's take a look at the customer list while a little bit of time passes here. Customers schedule 1. So, what we want to do is we want to compare this row right here to that one. And we want to, yeah, so what we're hoping for is that anybody who has a negative affinity for one will have a positive affinity for the other. Billy Kramer would be a ridiculously difficult customer. Of course, eventually we would have cocaine, but cocaine presents a similar issue because of the drying rack problem, right? All right, 2 deals for the afternoon. Leo ran out of product? For real? Holy shit. He's sitting on 14 grand. He sold it really fast. Okay, well, we're gonna have to re him up. Let's go grab whatever bricks are available. I'm not expecting much because I kind of forgot to order chilies. I got distracted by the drying rack shit. We have 7 bricks that we can bring over there. The chilies are on their way, so they're gonna have a big backlog of heavenly weed. They'll make a shitload of bricks really fast for the next re-up. Make buffer manifolds? I don't know what you mean, buddy. You just do 1 rack to 1 pot with a threshold of 1. Honestly, buddy, that does seem like the smart play. Because at least then, like, you're gonna... Yeah. It's not the most efficient numbers-wise, but it overrides the built-in limitations at present. That is honestly... It's a good idea. Yeah, maybe all I need to do is, well, that, you know, if I want to have like a nice weed setup. Yeah, we'll try some things. The only issue is a lot of customers really like weed, and I might not like, if I use the stash and dash for meth, then making enough weed with just the sweatshop is pretty hard. I don't think I could do heavenly quality with it, is the issue. Not unless I eventually got AC units to pump up the speed of the drying process. Maybe we can do some calculations and find a way to maximize our output and production in the sweatshop using AC units. I will have to manually clean the trash if we do that, but, you know, maybe I could have like 4 plants with 4 drying racks, but I could use 2 AC units near the drying racks at least, if not the plants. And then that would, you know, it would just spit out a whole bunch. See, this guy, I don't know if you guys knew this. I have 4 of these plants going directly to the bungalows so that they can be hung up to dry there. This one plant is fueling all of these drying racks, and there's like a surplus, right? So right as soon as this finishes curing, he's gonna start drying this. Right now, there's no room over there for more, but yeah, he's gonna harvest that plant like 6 times or 4 times in the time it takes for all this to dry. If he harvests that plant 4 times, then he gets 48 weed. Remember, that's how much, he'll harvest it 4 times in 24 hours. If we could get that one plant to evenly distribute here, then that would be, you know, but that's the issue though. How do we get that one plant to evenly distribute to all of the drying racks instead of getting it so that it like starts drying at one and then fills the input of the one it's currently drying at? Let's do these deals before I don't make it. I have to break the habit that I developed of scheduling every deal for late at night, because we are going to be using the increased foot patrols mod, and I'm going to stop using this meet up in a designated location of my choosing mod. See, I just instinctively scheduled the deal for late at night. Like, it happens, right? I have to break that habit. I don't even think about it anymore. It's like second nature to just schedule deals for late at night. I'm gonna have to fix that. Oh wow, nobody has any wages. All right. We definitely have like surplus production. They're gonna burn through a lot of the heavenly weed with the chilies though. I'm gonna help them empty this delivery. All right. And it would have been wise for me to put the weed on the bottom and the chilies on the top so that I could shift click the chilies on there whenever I helped unload a delivery. We have another delivery of chilies coming. This is going to make a lot of bricks in a really short time. All right. I agree, Jake. Jake, I agree. Or Jai Queer. Put a supply closet between the pots and the drying rack so the product stacks up before it hits the rack, so there will be only stacks of 20 that go onto the racks. That's the problem though. That's what I have going right now. I have a shelf between the pots and the drying racks, but they put all the weed on the shelf and then they put the weed from the shelf onto the rack, start drying, and then they put more weed on that same rack instead of moving to the next one. Like that's the problem, right? That's what's happening. Oh yeah, let's keep looking at that customer list. So these two columns right here. So Billy would be a really shit difficult customer. So would Carl. Carl doesn't like anything, but he has the smallest affinity for meth. Negative isn't necessarily a bad thing, as long as we can get them addicted, I think. Negative 20 is certainly manageable. So right now there's two difficult customers, with one of them being Billy Kramer and the other one being Carl Bundy. And then there's Genghis Barn, who really doesn't like meth or mushrooms, but he likes coke and weed. However, a common thread between most of these guys, with the exception of Carl, so Genghis likes weed, Billy likes weed, and Carl Bundy does not like anything. But he's closest with the meth, so I won't even consider him, you know. We just visit him a couple times with the meth and we'll have him. Let's continue looking at others. Donna doesn't like meth, but she does like shrooms. She also likes weed. Greg Figgle. He likes weed and doesn't like anything else. Yeah, meth and mushrooms will work for a majority of the customers, but there will be some exceptions that will require either weed or coke in order to get them calling us automatically without doing any addiction stacking. Okay. I'm definitely gonna need a mod that increases dealer inventory size though. That's a given. Like if I want to try and do a series like that, I will need such a mod. Yeah, and I'll give some thought to how I would lay everything out. It's fucking curfew. Let's just go to sleep. Jai. Okay. All right, laundromat. Launder. Waylon got robbed, but not for much. All right, so let's go take a look at things now. Oh yeah, they're producing a lot of bricks. Okay. There's more mixing ingredients there. Good morning, Poser. How are you doing, buddy? All right, let's try to schedule this for the morning. Yeah, I got to break that habit, buddy. I got to schedule my deals for a good time. Yeah, see, they keep doing it. Why aren't you starting the dry on there? Are you going to? Well, they're replanting. Okay, moving weed onto that drying rack. Moving weed onto... Okay. And then shipping the weed over. The only thing that I think would kind of fix the throughput issue here is if I had a handler delivering the weed instead. Because then the handler might evenly distribute the weed before the botanists get to it. But I really, I don't know. It could go another way though. Like it could fail too. See, there's 8 more weed here. And she could move some of that weed over here so there's a full batch, but she doesn't. Yeah, that's a big problem. The drying racks are just really counterintuitive. Like, they're not that good right now. They're coded poorly. There's big holes in their output and potential. So let's honestly take a look here. So 8 weed, right? Another 8 weed, that's 16. That's gonna start drying. Yeah, there's 16 weed that's nearly a full drying rack that is not in use, right? Sucks, buddy. Yeah, I'll probably have to do your idea, Snap. I'm gonna have to output like 1 plant into a drying rack or something. We will end up with overflow, unfortunately. Like, we can't really avoid it, but really sucks though, because I feel like if that one problem was fixed, then I wouldn't be having any problems. I'd just be excited about making like 1 site for each drug type thing. See, like, I had enough weed to complete these stacks of 20. I'm gonna try changing the threshold of all of these. I highly doubt it's gonna make any sort of a difference, but... yeah, I don't think it's gonna change much. But right now we're trying to gather data for it, right? We're trying to figure out if there's any sort of a fix. All right, I'm doing a good job of scheduling my deals for during the day. We're gonna break that habit before the next series. And we might want to take a break and try to figure out a mod for increasing the dealer's inventory size. Oh God, I scheduled, see? I didn't even think about it. I scheduled that for late at night. Okay, so I would need to order from him one more time in order to get deliveries. I'm not going to worry too much about meeting my deals right now. All right, let's temporarily. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 87, 97, 100. I might actually be able to level up fungal fill by ordering exactly 100 spore syringes, which would be pretty cool because that's exactly half of the huge storage chest, right? Which is how much I need whenever I do my mushroom setup. So that's cool. At the very least, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Let's take a look at the mods and see what our options are. Increased dealer inventory seems kind of sus. We're going to try it out. I will try it out. But we're going to have to exit in order to try it out. So let's save the game. No, Jai, that's the perfect ratio of racks to pots. That's literally the perfect ratio. It takes 24 hours for a drying rack to fully dry weed, right? You can fit 20 weed on a drying rack. Within that 24 hours, you can harvest a plant 4 times. 4 times 12 is 48, right? God damn it. Well, I don't know why, but my game just sort of like... It's one of the mods that I have. It sort of crashes when I try to close it. All right. So 4 times 12 is 48. You can get 48 weed in the time it takes for your drying racks to fully dry your weed, right? So you can fill 2 and you'll have 8 weed left over for the 3rd drying rack. If drying racks worked properly, then that ratio would be perfect. You'd want 3 drying racks per plant. It's because that problem is in the game. It's because it's glitchy and doesn't work correctly that my ratio is not working. No, each pot does not have multiple destinations. Every single pot is going into a chest, and then that chest outputs to the drying racks as a supply shelf for the botanists. Yeah. All right, let's try this out. We're going to have to open the mods folder here. And I'd like to try cleaning up some shit. If I get rid of these, won't it, like, bring them back? More realistic laundering, I obviously have to keep that, but... More workers. I never got that mod working. I wonder if it would actually work. And better minimap config. Zoom key Z. Hang on. I want to check something with the, because I might not even need these files anymore. Yeah, there's an assembly notice here. Better Minimap DLL is not registered. Yeah, there might be a problem here with the increased dealer inventory. Oh, wow. So adding that, the dealer better, like, inventory size for the dealer's mod completely broke everything. Yeah, we gotta remove that then. Mods. Oh. The hell? Why is the config there? That's supposed to be over here. That's weird. All right, we'll try one more time to open it now that I've moved that into its proper location. Yeah, the config is not supposed to be there. All right. One more try. Well, we didn't get the error code. Oh, there it is. Well, we got past the menu screen. Because I moved that folder, probably. Okay, and we can check with Benji right away. Yeah, he doesn't have increased inventory size. No, he still has the standard of 5. Okay. All right, yeah, increased dealer inventory mod won't work. We'll have to try to find an alternative. And I think I'm gonna get rid of choose deal location, but we'll do that after. For now, let's just get rid of the dealer inventory thing. Increase dealer inventory, remove that. And then we'll also get rid of this. I think we can get rid of that better minimap thing. Same with more workers here. Oh, and we have to get it generated a new folder there, which, yeah, get rid of that. So we're gonna need to try something else. Dealer self-supply would be good. Because that would basically take it out of my hands and I wouldn't need to worry about it. They would grab the bricks, right? Dealers monitor their stock levels and collect items from assigned storage when running low. Features include a simple assignment UI, realistic travel times, and text notifications. Saves time while maintaining game balance and immersion. The mod doesn't work at all. Not working. Not working. It was working as early as the cartel update, but now there's people saying it's not working. That was 24th of January, pretty recent. 2nd of February, same thing. This was in November. That was in September. So that would have been the Halloween update broke the mod, and then I guess it was neglected from that point forward. God damn. Oh, there's not, buddy. Yeah, the dealer's inventories are small. It's a weird design bottleneck. It's like, why bother hiding those slots if they're there? Just let us see them, right? Let us use them. There's been no updates to this, eh? Damn it. Honestly, if this game just used like JSON files, I would mod it myself. I honestly could. You know, that's what sucks about it. I could totally mod this game and make my own mods, but it doesn't have. Hmm. I can't even open this file. Why is that? Odd. All right, well, take care for now, gamer fam. We'll see you in a little bit, okay? Metadata. I can't open any of these. Why is that? It's not a very modder-friendly game. It's nothing like Vintage Story or something where you can just easily peruse the files and make changes. App data, local low, TVGS, schedule 1, Unity. Yeah, we might not be able to have the series that I'd like to have. There's just built-in limitations with the game that are kind of stopping it from happening. Like, one is the drying rack issue that we already talked about that extensively. The second one is the inability, like, I need to have more inventory slots in my dealers. Yeah, none of these mods seem to work. Like, they've all been neglected ever since the updates most recently. Okay, well, let's see if there's a way that I can, like, potentially do a series anyway, even with the existing limitations. So the drying racks are a problem. One of the ways that we can get around that is assigning a plant to a drying rack. It's far from efficient. It's kind of shitty. we're going to have reduced output, reduced production, but I mean, theoretically, we could deal with it, right? I am going to install the more workers mod again, and I'll try to figure out how to use that. It had, like, I might be able to use this. That was 19th of January. So if I can figure out how to use this mod, then we could theoretically, like, we could use Steam Network Lib. Right, I downloaded that before. Is that still in my files? No. So we'll have to download that. Okay, yeah, if I can add more workers to, like, the sewer, then, you know, we'll have, like, more options involved, right? Exactly, Jai. That's exactly what I want. Yeah, I want the botanists to distribute the weed among all the drying racks so that there's as much weed drying as possible instead of overloading one drying rack with some weed that's drying and some weed that's just waiting. That's exactly right. Yeah. All right, so let's put the more workers in here in our mods folder. And then what's this? Faux mod. Module config. I think that's all I need. So we now have both of those. We're going to try to do the more workers thing. So let's boot up the game and see if we can do that. And let's keep an eye out here for any errors. Better Minimap DLL. Oh, whoa. More workers. Endless errors. All right. Hang on. Let's take a look here. User libs. Okay, so I probably have to put these files in user libs. Here. Yeah, so that doesn't go in the mods folder. So let's go to mods, remove the Steam Network lib thing. And we have to go to... hang on. Yeah, schedule 1, user libs, put this in here. Okay, that's in the right place, I think. So now it should start working, I believe. So let's load up the game again. And let's keep an eye out for any error codes. What is that? Well, we're not getting the error code anymore. It seems like it's working just fine. Okay. Let's take a look up here. It's right there. Yeah, what is this? Assembly Better Minimap DLL is not registered in IL2 CPP. That might actually be this. Wait, user data. No, it's not there either. I don't know what that is, but the minimap works just fine, so I'm not really gonna worry about it. Yeah, let's hop in. Oh, that closes the game. Yeah, we're gonna hop in and we're gonna try to use that mod where we assign more workers to various locations. Okay, so, how do I use that shit, huh? Is there like a menu here for it? Or is it under the hood? Better flashlight, better minimap. More workers is here. So authoring mode is on. Capture key F9. I don't get it. Oh. So that creates spawn points then, right? Is that how it works? Is that it? All right, let's do F9 right here. And then we'll turn off the authoring mode. And let's go see if I can now, like, hire somebody over at the motel room. If it's that easy, then yeah, we could do a lot of good stuff with that. Oh my god, it works. I just sent a fucking botanist to the motel room, of all places. Look at that. That's pretty crazy. Interesting. And we're just gonna do a quick preliminary test. I'm gonna go get soil and seeds from here. Yeah, testing these mods, you know, if we want the next series to be more interesting, this is what we gotta do. As far as the dealers go, I could probably try to do like increased stack sizes and give them more product type thing. Hang on. So she needs a locker. Her supplies are gonna be right there. She's gonna be assigned to this plant. We're gonna go grab her a quick locker. Like, restocking the dealers is annoying, but I mean, if I can drive around with the van, then it gets a lot easier to do, right? So it's like, at that point, it's just like, okay, do you want to have an easier time restocking your dealers? Well, you better buy a van, you know? Which isn't so bad. Not really. Bigger stack size might work. Like if I can make enough product and always keep them restocked. It's time for an intervention. Hello, de facto. Okay, she's assigned. And then put this stuff here. So she's working. We're gonna let her pour the soil. And then we're gonna save and quit the game. Okay, so the game has been saved. Now we're gonna quit. And we're gonna log back in and see if she still plants the seed. Because honestly, if this mod works, there's extraordinary possibilities here. She's not planting it. But it's possible that she ended up, like, deleting the seed by accident. Like, if I log out while she's planting a seed, then that might cause a discrepancy. Which is honestly kind of sus, but let's just put another seed there and see if it works. Well, she grabbed the seed. It does look like because I saved the game and quit while she was planting, it caused the problem. But she continued to work after we logged out and logged back on and brought her a new seed. Oh, if I had a bigger stack, it would help with the drying racks. I don't think so. We probably still have too much product being put on one drying rack. And bigger stacks might, like, the drying rack might still only hold like 20 weed, right? So this works. This mod actually works, which means that we can have workers in various places. Yeah, this is interesting. Very interesting to be able to change the employees like that. That gives me the potential of having like an underground sewer operation. Think about it, right? We could have we could have a cleaner and a botanist in the sewer growing weed. And then that weed could get sent to the sweatshop where there is going to be another botanist with drying racks, right? He's going to dry the weed. And then we could output that weed to the motel when it's dried to be mixed by a chemist that lives here. And we could make meth in the stash and dash. Like, there's a lot of possibilities to this mod. Being able, because this actually gives me the power to be like an employer. I can be like, okay, I have this motel room. I want you to work in this motel room, right? Which is a very interesting dynamic for a playthrough. That's going to help a lot. So that's one thing that we have now that can make this very interesting, this whole series. And there's another thing to consider. A backpack mod. This, ironically enough, this is the mod that was giving people malware. It was an old mod, and it was giving people malware, right? Yeah, without the Trojans. It's an inside joke for the community. This was the infamous malware mod that made me not want to mod Schedule 1 back in the day. So there's actually a backpack here which would fix my inventory problem, at least, whenever I have to restock the dealers, right? Simple backpacks. You can buy backpacks, apparently, with this mod. Malware, right? Is this the one? Well, it doesn't seem like the most reliable mod. But there's another backpack mod. Hang on. Schedule 1 mod nexus. You're right here, right? OG backpack remade. It's an extension of the original OG backpack, added the ability to change the values of this mod within the mod manager app. Changes apply instantly. Also have the added ability to open the backpack while on the client UI slots and the pawn shop UI slots with the press of the backpack hotkey. In fact, you can even choose when you unlock the backpack. Ugh. Okay, well, it looks like this is the one that we're going to be using. Um, yeah, this could help out a lot. We already have the requisite components to start using it. Oh, sorry. Bread's storage tweaks, huh? Customize the number of storage slots and rows to suit your needs. Supports most, if not all, storages. What's advanced dealing? Well, it seems a little too much. We don't want to change them too much. I like how the dealers work. We just want them to be able to carry more, have more slots. So you know what? This mod might work. But I feel like a good alternative is just doing the backpack. If I install the backpack mod, then that pretty much solves the issue, and it helps with other things as well. Yeah. Oh, oh. You're right, Notorious. There are a lot of options. Yeah, that we could do. So I am, you know what? I'm gonna bookmark this. We don't know whether or not the backpack mod is gonna work yet, but this could be a viable alternative. But I have felt for a while like I wish there was a backpack system, and I'm thinking if I have an 8-slot tool belt and then an 8-slot backpack as well, that could be universally useful and change the way that we play the game, you know? Although then the van loses its usefulness, so I am ambivalent about using the backpack thing. Yeah, you know what? Let's get rid of that. Don't need this. We have to add this to the description, and I'm gonna use bread storage tweaks instead of the backpack mod. I feel like needing the van is a requisite part of the game's sort of progression. Yeah, so thank you very much, Snap. Thank you for showing me this, buddy. We're gonna try it out, and it might just be the solution that we need. And if it's not, you shall be pilloried in the town square. All right, mods. Bread storage. Okay, so let's open the game. We still have our existing save files, so all of these mods are things that we can tweak and test out. Okay. Settings. Well, bread storage tweaks does not have this. It doesn't really have like a config file. Hang on there, Benji. I need to look up the mod and see how it works. So, bread storage tweaks. Actually, you know what? I might have to change the config file. Yeah, it might be purely in the configuration menu. So, with that considered, let's close the game and then check for a configuration file. That would probably be in user data, bread storage tweaks, employees, that's botanists and chemists, extra. Wall-mounted shelf, table, safe, storage racks. Not really seeing the... Oh, dealer. Okay, row amount 1, slot amount. We could increase this to... Let's say I have 4 different drugs. Bricks, baggies, dime bags, and a gun. So we would want them to have enough for 3 types of 4 different drugs, which is 12, 13 for a gun, right? Yeah, so there's weed, meth, cocaine, mushrooms. That's 4. There's 3 states for each drug, so that's 12. And then 13. All right. So we're going to do 2 rows. Wait. It's not evenly divisible, mind you. So I think, hang on, I'm going to close this and not save it. Maybe I'll just increase it to 10, but let's do 2 rows of like 7. We'll just do 2 rows of 7. Yeah, and then save that, close that. Now we are going to check and see if it applied to Benji. Yeah, 2 rows of 7 seems fine. I was getting all like, man, I really want to have exactly 13 slots, but I don't think I can. I wanted to have 2 rows of 6 with a 3rd row that only had 1. I'm excited. I'm excited to start again. I am very excited because now we have even like newer possibilities involved, right? All right, so, ooh, wait a minute. I see, that's how it works. So we can actually have exactly the correct amount of slots. That's very interesting. Okay, so you know what? Let's take a look at this and get a feel for what it has to be. Let's open up the config file. I don't know if I can change it while we're mid-game, but maybe I can. Dealer. So we need to have 4 rows of 3 for the drugs. Wait, that would actually be... So we're going to have 5 rows with 13 slots. But it won't apply until we quit and come back in. Okay, 5 rows, 13 slots. We should have 4 rows of 3 and an additional row of 1, I'm hoping. I'm hoping that's how it'll go, but it might do like a row of 4, 3, 3, 2, I don't know. We'll take a look though. All right, Ben. Oh, look at that. So guys, we can actually put the gun down here. And then look at this, right? He's got enough room for 3 of every type of drug with the gun down there. That's perfect. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Thank you, Snap. Thank you very much, buddy. You just made this happen. So, we're not going to use the backpack mod. We are going to use the more employees mod. And we're going to use bread storage tweaks. So, at this stage... Sorry, I don't think there's any more mods that I want to install and use. I think these will do just fine. So we're going to add these to the description of the stream. And then we're going to schedule a new stream. I'm going to transfer you guys over and we're going to start a new playthrough with all of these new possibilities. We can do so much more than we're used to. It's going to be a very different experience. So this mod is just more workers. Allows you to have more workers, but anywhere you want at any property. And then... bread storage tweaks. That person's name is Bread Chan. Like, I guess they just really love bread. So bread storage tweaks allows you to change storage sizes, even for dealers, which is why we needed it. Okay, there we go. So, save that. Right on. Yeah, we have all these mods listed and ready to go. We have links to them in the description. I'm excited. Snap, you really came in clutch with that mod recommendation. Thank you. Thank you very much, buddy. You did great today. So that's done. We're going to close this. Get rid of these. I'm going to schedule a new stream and maybe take like a 5-minute break before I start it just to put on another pot of coffee, you know? I'm going to need to copy and paste the parameters, like the description of this current stream we're doing. Because we have new mods in there, so. Okay, we have the updated mod list. And this is... That makes it 17 mods, right? But we're going to be removing the choose deal locations mod. Fair enough. Automated tasks mod. Do I want to use that? I like it for watering. I do appreciate having it for the watering can. I might try to keep it. DeliveryApp Improvements, better Minimap, provides a Minimap WarehousePlus, BetterFlashlight, laundry app. The SuperOffroad Skateboard, I'm kind of ambivalent about. I do enjoy it. It just doesn't quite seem to have the speed of a golden skateboard. However, there was another mod. Willy Schedule 1 Skateboard. There's like a mod that lets you completely tweak. Oh my god, completely tweak the parameters of the skateboard. But I don't remember where it was or what it was. Because being able to choose the stats for myself would be pretty awesome. I suppose we'll just keep it the way it is, huh? I don't know. Super off-road skateboard. Can I, is there a configuration file for that? Because maybe I could just change it in there. No, nothing here. All right. There you go. Yeah. We'll keep using the Super Off-Road Skateboard did do a really good job. Honestly, it did. Like, it works. It got the job done. So this makes how many mods in total? We removed one of them. I'm gonna have to actually remove it. It's the place, it's the one where we meet up with customers. So mods, choose deal location. That is now removed. Everything else is something that I'd like to keep, something that I deem necessary. Yeah. All right. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16 mods. 16, huh? Count again. Actually, I could just take a look at the mods folder and see exactly how many. Yep, 16's appropriate. Okay, 16 new mods. And this will be attempt 13. Like Epstein's preferred sexual age. All right. Now, we'll schedule this for like 11:15. Gives me time to put on another pot of coffee. So most of our mods are the same, but we did add a couple more. We added bread storage tweaks and more workers, and we also removed choose deal locations. And was that it? We just removed one? Looks like it. Am I missing one on the list? I might be. All right, let's go down the list and just make sure. Oh, Mod Manager phone app. Wait. No, we have that there. I need to check them one by one. So Mod Manager phone app. Got it. Super Off-Road. Got it. Laundry app. Got it. BetterFlashlight. Yep. WarehousePlus. I'll just move this over. WarehousePlus and Better Minimap. Yep. Indeed. DeliveryApp Improvements and cross property. Yep. Highballer and automated tasks. Yep. Business income, more foot patrols. More realistic laundering, forked. That would be this one, I think. Okay. Trash grabber, workers, bread storage. But the real question is, why do I seem to have more here than I have over there? $16. Okay, good. I miscounted. Yeah, we're fine. Everything is copacetic and ready to go. So let's get all this set up. Let's add a redirect from this stream into the new one. And retrieve the chat. That's attempt 13, episode 1. Oh, I used to use Off-Road Gold Skateboard, but there's a post where it actually, you still get stopped at curbs with the Gold Skateboard because the wheels aren't big enough. Yeah, that's why we're not using that one. I had to use the Super Off-Road Skateboard kind of as like a... There's a post when you're looking at the Golden Skateboard mod where the guy's like, okay, I made a forked version for the Off-Road Skateboard for curbs. Yeah. Okay, so we have the chat for the new stream. We have the redirect prepared. We have everything ready to go. So, I'll be right back, guys.
herself.
That's really funny. Oh my gosh.
And put in like lyrics of our time at the end.
Oh my god. She could be. Got some fresh air in here. Oh. I am going live. Well, I'm already live, but I'm transferring. Okay, so it's time, guys. It's time for us to hop into our brand new series. I got good feelings about it. I'm pretty excited for it. Oh, yeah, what a good note to end on. Okay, guys, I will see you in that new stream right away, all right?